Welcome to Soothing Pot's Sleep Stories. I am David, and if you're here today to listen to a dreamy story that will soothe you and comfort you, you are in the right place. Tonight, I will be your guide on another relaxing journey. Come with me on a lovely walk that we'll take at your own individual pace. We will meander through some of the finest vineyards in Italy, enjoying that soft, soothing feeling of the sun on our face. We will feel the warm, enticing wind in our hair, blowing across our cheeks, and also the soil beneath our feet as it holds us up, walking in perfect balance. But before we begin, let's take some deep breaths to relax our minds and open our senses to the possibility of beauty and tranquility in nature. Inhaling and exhaling as our heart rate slows down. Even if you find yourself in a place without much nature around, remember that a state of calm comes from your mindset. So now we turn our attention to anything that occupies our mind. Any pressures, any anxiety, any fear that may be clouding your mind right now. Just take it all, wrap it up in a bundle of acceptance, and just let it go. Let it drift from your mind as you take your time and walk with me today. Italy has many great wines, but some of the finest come from the terraced vineyards in the north of the country. In the Valtellina region, you can hike through nearly 70 kilometers of vineyards. These little vines grow in rich soil that takes a lot of care to cultivate. As we go on this walk, I want you to inhale deeply all that fresh air, the scent of summer, the warmth that surrounds you. And exhale, again releasing any thoughts that are crowding your mind, any anxiety and fear, and just fall into goodness as you enjoy this moment. The region of Valtellina in northern Italy is a beautiful one. It is not yet overcrowded with tourists, which makes it a nice escape for anyone who wants to spend time in nature, while having a very authentic Italian experience. You'll find it just across the border with Switzerland. Suddenly, the mountain passes change from winding slopes to cascading valleys and inland trails. In contrast to neighboring countries, the sight of Italy over the mountains enthralls you with its bright greens, its fields of flowers, its humble cottages and stone houses, If you love walking, climbing, and hiking, it's perfect. Here is where you will also find what is called the Sentiero Italia, one of the longest hikes in the world. It goes for 6,000 kilometers, crosses the Alps and the Apennines, and passes through the Valtellina. If you are zooming down the highway, you would miss these little villages, where the pace of life is remarkably slower, but the history and art richer and deeper. Today, we are journeying in the province of Sondrio, on the Rhaetian side of Valtellina. Instead of just barren hillsides, you will see sweeping views of endless vines, framed by mountains and gorgeous colors. About 850 hectares of vines are growing here, and the wines they produce have become an economic resource for the valley people. Today, we wear durable walking shoes, and we walk at an easy pace, not too fast, but not too slow. The weather is perfect. The climate is cool and comfortable, with the sun shining, but a cool breeze cascading down the terraces. It is a perfect day for a hike. Steep terraces surround us, but it is still easy to make it through the walking trail and tiny stone steps that connect each level. To the left and right, you will see terraces stacked on top of each other, all bulging with the Nebbiolo grape, locally known as Chiavenasca. Because beyond visiting a wine museum or drinking it in an expensive restaurant, why not take a walk directly to its source? The color of the Nebbiolo grape is dark blue, nearly purple, and the wines it produces are robust and rich, but light-smelling and fragrant. But how did all these terraces get here? They have been here since the Middle Ages, when local people built them manually, hewing the steps directly into the strong, hard rock. On those slopes, they then laid soil from the valley floor, and on this soil they planted vineyards. Around 800 AD, roads were constructed through the neighboring alpine passes. This easily connected the small villages of Valtellina to larger cities. They were able to bring their wines to foreign markets in Switzerland and Germany. As you walk along the vineyards, take your time to notice how beautiful each twirling vine is. The large clusters of grapes hang like diamonds in the sunlight, catching its rays. The territory is very steep, which makes cultivating grapes even more challenging. While walking on the terraces, you must focus and keep your balance. Steady on now. One foot in front of the other, and don't fret about the destination. Today, our adventure is the journey itself in this beautiful hillside location. If you look out into the distance, you might see the ruins of a castle. And, if you'd like, we can walk all the way there. Up close, it's more like a heap of stones. Many of the buildings were constructed from stone in the Middle Ages. But from far away, where we're standing, one might dream of what that castle was once upon a time. That is one of the many beautiful things about walking in the countryside in a land with so much history. There is still so much to uncover. And when one asks the right questions, the answers are found. Here in Italy, the culture is best comprehended not in touristy restaurants or even museums, but in local experiences. A table shared with an Italian family, a home-cooked meal, a walk in the sunshine. For this climate is hard to explain. It must be experienced. As we walk, we reflect on the seasons and periods of time suited for everything, especially the harvest. But before the harvest, those who cultivate the grapes must tend to their vineyards with care. Plant and prune. After the harvest of grapes comes the long wine-making process. And here too, a winemaker cannot ever be in a hurry. Not if he wants his wines to taste their best. Each stage of the process must be respected. The harvesting of the grapes, then crushing and pressing them to extract their sweet juices. The process of fermentation and clarification. The long and delicate aging. And finally, bottling, labeling, and shipping to different parts of the world. Harvesting. The first step in this intricate process holds great importance. To ensure delicious wines, the winemakers must ensure that their grapes have been cultivated well, with the necessary acids and tannins expected of that particular grape. The timing of the harvest is crucial too. Not a moment too early, not a moment too late. And if the timing is just right, the flavor of the wine will be so as well. A well-timed harvest also depends on the weather. After the harvest, crushing, destemming, and pressing of the grapes comes next. In times past, the locals used their hands and feet for this process, stomping in large barrels to separate the grape juice from the skins and seeds. Today, machines provide tremendous help and also ensure that the process is completely sanitary and done to the highest quality. The fermentation can begin within hours after crushing, aided by yeast and sugars. However, you must know that in Italy, it is forbidden by law to add sugars and other additives during the fermentation process. It could be considered cheating if a winemaker were to do this, and this so-called chaptalization is in fact punishable by law. During the fermentation stages, the sugar in the grapes is converted into alcohol, and this process takes anywhere from just 10 days to months. What follows is the removal of any solids or chunks left in the liquid, usually yeast cells or other proteins, and this stage is called clarification. You can remember it easily if you think of the root words clarify or clear. The wine is simply transferred to barrels, often oak or stainless steel tanks, and filtered. Before being bottled, as it gets ready for the aging process, it will again be transferred to different vessels. Around the world, wine is grown in various regions and in different traditions. And the taste depends largely on the preference of the person drinking the wine. The thing that makes this part of Italy, the Valtellina, special are the terraces that rise some 750 meters or 2,500 feet above sea level. Picking the grapes here is back-breaking work. The wine growers must walk along the steep slopes, clinging to stones that have been secured against landslides. They carry heavy baskets for the grapes, supported by straps on their backs. Some vineyards do it like this by hand, and some use technology and helicopters to transport the grapes from remote areas to the winery during harvesting weeks. This special feature of the landscape, while providing sustenance for its people, has also carved out a beautiful scenery, cascading from the hilly slopes down to the valleys. Indeed, the region was nominated for UNESCO World Heritage status. Come here during the summer and you just might happen to see a few marathon runners passing by, since these terraces also present a challenging course for those who want to stay in shape. The run takes competitors through the incredible zigzagging vineyards, through the little villages, and up and down the wineries. Even inside, where all the barrels are housed, cultivating fine wines. This is truly a labor of love, dedication, and tradition. It is the beauty of this wholesome life that impresses you as you wander through the Valtellina Trail. Under the glow of the afternoon sun, here you can breathe the fresh air and feel free of any burdensome thoughts that would normally cloud your mind. Though today the weather is clear, sometimes marathon runners must withstand different conditions. Runners from over 30 countries come together every year to participate in this event. Some years their number surpasses 2,000 people, each one feeling the ground, the tough soil beneath their feet, all encouraged to run on by the villagers who live and work in these parts. The marathon day is the day filled with emotion, set against one of the loveliest panoramas in Italy. It is true that the weather here is not always perfect. At times, harsh winds may blow, rain may batter the vineyards, the cold of winter may threaten to ruin a good harvest. But it is the hardy and hard-working people here who have given the Valtellina its reputation. They till the ground, grow produce, wait for the seasons to change, and they learn to adapt with them. Their food, their sustenance, gives them strength and nourishment. Rich pastas and potatoes, deliciously salty salami, fragrant cheeses, dairy products, and of course, you mustn't forget to eat a nice cold gelato, regardless of the weather of season here in Italy. One autumn, 2,500 runners from over 30 countries participated in the marathon of the Valtellina Wine Trail. It was a day of emotion, pride, and joy as all the runners made it through these very vineyards, running at a steady pace and not giving up until they had covered all the required passes. If you do intend to come here on another day, getting here is fairly easy. Simply take a 2-hour drive from Milan, the nearest international airport, and you will find this hidden gem. This is an area that for many travelers might be a bit out of the way, off the beaten path, but that's where the best discoveries sometimes lead through. Give yourself time to take it all in. Marvel at the stunning alpine landscapes while walking through these centuries-old vineyards. Later, you will get to taste and experience the elegance of Lombardy's wines and its delicious food, awakening all of your senses. Our walk under the sun today is a leisurely one, but there are other options. Namely, if you love skiing, you can come during the winter months and enjoy in a resort high up in the snowy slopes, going skiing, snowboarding, or just walking the trails. For those who look for even more relaxation, the many thermal spas around offer hot springs and indoor pools. And this might be one of the best winter sensations. A steaming hot bath, a tall glass of wine in hand, and the sight of snow-capped Alps in the distance. If you are lucky to have a loved one nearby, you might feel as if you could stay in this moment forever. Look for more fun and relaxation in ski resorts like Livigno and Bormio. The thermal spas here have been used since Roman times. A particularly lovely spot to relax at after a long day's walk, and even with family or a partner, is the Termi di Bormio. It features 2 beautiful relaxation spas. The Bagni Vecchi, meaning old thermal spa, or the luxurious Bagni Nuovi, meaning new spa. Perfect if you're looking to get refreshed and regenerated. After you have hiked for a day, or enjoyed a walk through the countryside, the natural, healthy waters here help rejuvenate your whole body. The sounds of the birds here in the countryside, the stillness and quietness of tiny villages, and the slower pace of life are good for your mind and soul too. Here, with the window views opening to the vineyards, the green rows of bursting grapes, with a backdrop of mountains and frosty snow left on their peaks at times, this is true nature. The way people have enjoyed it for thousands of years. It is not the kind of escape that leaves you needing a vacation from your vacation. It is one that gives you the kind of peace to last in your mind and heart for a long, long time. Even when you return to your own home, back in your own bed, under your own blankets, you will remember the stillness in the Lombardy region, the lovely long walk through the Italian countryside, and the stages required to grow, harvest, and produce these exceptional wines. I hope you enjoyed this walk through the vineyards of the Valtellina, and one day you will come again to revisit northern Lombardy and taste the special grapes grown here. Thank you for joining me tonight. Sweet dreams, rest well, and I'll be with you again tomorrow.